Hello and welcome back. My name is James McLynas and I'm running for Sheriff of Pinellas County, Florida. Tonight we have a rather interesting video. What I'm going to show you today is how the government, and in this case the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, with the help of the Board of Commissioners, gets your money out of your pocket so that they can pay for things that you don't want and that you don't need. This little example is going to be about Sheriff Galtieri's Marine unit, how many boats he has and how he deploys those boats and how much money he wants from you. On May 16th of 2019, Sheriff Galtieri went in front of the Board of County Commissioners for their budget meeting, and he laid out all of his wants and needs and desires, how much more money he wants out of your pocket. Now, he asked for a lot of things, and we're going to be doing a lot of different videos on the things that he asked for, but tonight, in particular, we're going to focus on the Marine unit, because in that particular instance, he wanted another $200,000 for 2 more deputies, and he wanted another $450,000 for 2 more boats. And he's kept saying to the county commissioners how much there's such a dire need. He needs these boats. He doesn't have enough, and we're going without, and it's a dangerous situation, and there's 12 hours of a day when we don't have boats on the water. And if you didn't know the truth, you'd say, wow, we have a serious need here. And the county commissioners, of course, never bother to go out and check to see how he's using the boats. They say, how much do you need? Is that all? Let's see if we can get it for you. And then they dig deeper into your pockets, and you come up with the money. So I want to just show you what happened yesterday. That was Memorial Day weekend. It was a Sunday. And I want to just show you what happened within not even a half a square mile here in Pinellas County in the Intercoastal Waterways near Johns Pass. I'd like to show you how the area agencies are deploying their Marine unit police units. First, I'm going to show you a clip of just a couple of the boats that were out there yesterday. And then I'm going to show you some of Sheriff Galtieri's comments in front of the Board of County Commissioner meeting. After that, I'm going to show you more videos of all of the boats that were out there at this one particular spot on Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. And you ask yourself this question: did we really need those? Do we really need more boats? Or is Sheriff Galtieri just lying to you and lying to the people of Pinellas County to steal more of your money?
How law enforcement impacted by tourism throughout the county. And I said, I'm going to rephrase the question, and I'm going to put it back to you this way. I think the more important question is, how does law enforcement impact tourism, not how we are impacted by it. And what I mean by that is that it's important that not only are we a safe county, but we're perceived as a safe county. And if we don't do our job effectively, as we've seen in the past, in years past, decades past, is that there is an impact. Because it does matter whether they come, it does matter whether they spend their dollars here.
We eliminated positions in the Marine unit, which led to a situation for many years where we had no coverage in the Gulf of Mexico, in the Intercoastal Waterway, or the freshwater lakes. And we were just very, very understaffed. When you also consider that against the backdrop that we have still significant periods of time where we have no Marine coverage. And it was even a little worse before we added these two positions. But today, right now today, is that during the winter, as the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office Marine Unit, there are 14 hours out of every day where we have no Marine Unit deputy on coverage. That means there's no boat on the water and nobody available to respond unless they're called out from home for the Gulf of Mexico, for the Intercoastal Waterway, or the freshwater lakes. During the summer, there's 12 hours during the summer. And this is when we got everything going on, everything from three rooker down to you name it, and 12 hours out of every day where there's no Marine unit on duty. So there is a gap. And these two positions bring us to where we are now, which is better than where we were. So I'm just asking for the funding for that $200,000 for these two positions. Frankly, probably could use more given the increase in activity and incidents and the number of boaters that are out there. But with all the other asks, I'm just be happy to get the funding for the two positions. But there's still a void out there, and you all should know that. Yeah. Is that there is a void, and there is a significant number of hours every single day where there is, and of course I'm not going to sit here publicly, I'll tell you privately, but I'm not going to sit here publicly and tell you what those hours are. But there are definite gaps and holes where people who wanted to do some bad things, there's nobody on the water. And from a water rescue standpoint, when you get those water rescues, if we don't have anybody, it's either calling the Coast Guard if they're available, it's calling the fire departments, but they have to launch their boats and come out, or we're calling somebody out from home. So we get those where there's a call for a water rescue, and it's an hour response for us because somebody's got to come out from home, they got to go get a boat, they got to get there, they got to launch it, and get out there. So that's the situation with Marine enforcement.
And one of the things that seemed kind of alarming to me was that oftentimes there's just one deputy on the boat.
So, yeah, right.
So you really don't have these increase in the types of incidents that you're talking about. You have a deputy going out there. There's not like you can call a bunch of extra trucks in or cars that you have on land.
They're by themselves out there.
They're
they're doing vessel stops and they're doing enforcement actions, and sometimes they're by themselves.
Yeah. So this isn't addressing that. We're just addressing having some minimal coverage on the water. So
it was at a point. The reason why I added the two this year that weren't funded, and I just did it, was because I thought it was at a critical juncture, and this took it, no pun intended, just slightly above the water line, but it's still not in a good place. So, that's all I'm asking for, given in light of everything else. But there is a hole out there, and maybe at some point in the future, there's an opportunity to add a couple more positions.
One of the things I'd like to talk to you about today is the coverage of these deputies at this particular small location. It was only about a square half a mile at most. Yet, if you look at the map of Pinellas County, we have a massive amount of waterways, all the way around the entire peninsula, not counting the intercoastal ways, the freshwater lakes and rivers. And Pinellas County sheriffs are supposed to be patrolling all of these areas. So if we have so few deputies to patrol this whole huge area, then why do we have 4 boats and 7 deputies patrolling just this one little half a mile square area? If you look at the zoom in, you'll see how small of an area they really were patrolling. And if you look even closer, the dot that they had all of their boats concentrated on doesn't make any sense at all. So if they have this much concentration here at this one little sandbar, obviously Sheriff Galtieri is lying about the size of his police force and his Marine unit. He obviously has way more than he wants you to know because he wants you to pay for more. Sheriff Galtieri posted 4 Pinellas County Sheriff's boats out on the little sandbar behind Johns Pass. There was maybe, you counted them, a couple of dozen boats out there, people just trying to have a good time and enjoy themselves on the holiday weekend. There was no crime. This was no terrorist threat. What did they get a call that there was somebody out there to topless, so they're going to send 4 boats out there to spy on everybody? If you watch the videos, that's just a fraction of what occurred all day. Those Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies' boats literally just paced back and forth, going around the island and harassing those boaters literally all day long. There was a couple of sandbars, one to the north and one to the south of there, with a few other boats on it. But basically, it was a nice, quiet day. And there was really no legitimate reason to have so much force out there on the water. You heard Sheriff Galtieri in the Board of County Commissioners meeting telling you that, we've got this massive problem, we need these boats, we have such a shortage. Well, how is it possible that we have such a shortage of manpower and such a shortage of boats when we have this many deputies and this many boats patrolling the sandbar at Johns Pass for the entire day? I mean, this whole operation must have cost the county taxpayers about $10,000 for what? To stop people from having a good time, to stop people from enjoying themselves, to stop people from being able to relax and not think that they're possibly in a police state and being hounded by officers at all points. It's time that we end the massive waste and the spending of Sheriff Robert Galtieri. He doesn't need a $1.5 million personal airplane. He doesn't need $450,000 worth of new boats. And he most certainly doesn't need to work for the people of Pinellas County anymore. Pinellas County residents have had a really hard time over the last couple of months with coronavirus. But one of the things that made it the most difficult was Sheriff Galtieri's unconstitutional lockdown of everybody's businesses, jobs, and the ability to even just go outside or walk on the beach. He treats everybody in Pinellas County like we're little children that don't know any better, and he's going to scold us one way or another, a little rap on the knuckles if you happen to step out of line. And that's all this was over on the Johns Pass sandbar. This was more of the coronavirus lockdown in place. Sheriff Galtieri using the pandemic as an excuse to assert his police state powers over the people of Pinellas County when there's really no legitimate reason for it. They had over 300 Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies set up on the beaches all up and down Pinellas County. They had spent somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 a day enforcing a simple ban on people standing 6 feet apart. Do we need armed officers telling people to move their towels on the beach? Of course not. No sheriff's office should have violated the Constitution. I'm a constitutional sheriff and I will never do that. So we have a situation here where you have a sheriff who doesn't care about the Constitution, and if he decides he's going to take away your freedom, he's going to take away your rights. That won't happen here in Pinellas County with James McLynas as sheriff. And what I also won't do is waste the people's time and waste the people's money enforcing laws that don't really have any basis in the Constitution. We have a situation now where Sheriff Galtieri is continuing to ask for more money when there are going to be so many people out of work, so many businesses are going to fail, and so many people are facing a really hard time. He doesn't need to be continuing his lavish, expensive spending spree while the rest of the people of Pinellas suffer, because him and his wife get to collect a $355,000 group of paychecks from their appointed positions from Governor Rick Scott. He can sit home with his $355,000. He's not worried about feeding himself. He's getting paid by you. So it's time we had someone in the sheriff's office that looked out for the people of Pinellas. That sheriff is me, James McLynas, for Sheriff of Pinellas County. I'd also like you to consider following me on Facebook, where you can reach out to me through Facebook Messenger, ask me any questions you may have. Also, like, share, follow on my YouTube channel, James McLynas for Sheriff. And also, the website, McLynasforSheriff.com, has a place where you can donate. Donating to my campaign is very important. Just look at it this way. The money that you donate to me for my election could very well save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in taxes and wasted government spending. You personally, out of your pocket. So donate a little now, save a lot later.